think sometimes even myself personally, I get too caught up in like, I forget, like we'll fall off. It'll be like 2-3 weeks and we don't journal and we don't meditate. And they're like, what's going on? And I'm like, shit, my bad. Like, I haven't been drilling it, whatever. Like, dude, that's one thing for me. And that like, I wear a lot of hats, my days are crazy.
Yep.
Sometimes. Like I have my athletes I train with. I got all my priority is McLloyd and customer service and sales. And then I work with clubs in the afternoon. And, so it's like, sometimes I get too caught up in like myself personally, but I think to a certain extent you had to be a little bit selfish. Cause like at the end of the day, I go to sleep by myself. I wake up by myself.
Yep. And it's, again, it's not talked about enough is the life of a coach, man.
Yeah.
Like it's really like,
fuck, man.
It's borderline, it starts off borderline volunteer, right?
Yeah, always. Yeah.
And that you only know how long that's going to go on for. Right. And like, if you want something to happen in this, you have to create it yourself for the most part. Because it's your way, it's your certain twist on things. And that's a challenge in itself. And like you're saying, put on different hats. There's a manual laborer, just trying to make it out here and just doing whatever is necessary to ensure that at least, I have skin in the game. And that could be, it's a daunting task, but I always tell myself, this is where most people quit, right? This is where when it gets hard. And, knowing and realizing that it is going to be hard it just makes it better.
And then that's just also like, even for these kids, right? Like direction, like if you yourself as a performance coach don't really understand your direction with why you're coaching, like you end up either not loving it, falling off, or something in between there. It's like you have to have somewhat of an idea on like what your end goal is, even though I don't think there ever really is an end goal. I'm all about, if I wake up happy and I live a life that's, happy, like I don't know. Yeah, man. It's all about exactly. Consistency, progress. Everything takes time. Good things take time. You got to spend your days around the right people, have conversations like this. Like I feel like I always have my best ideas. I always have the best conversations, not when I'm by myself, but when I'm able to exchange that conversation and that talk with someone who speaks the same language, who shares the same energy.
Exactly.
Like, bro, who thought that? Dude, I hit you up last night.
This was a quick turnaround, dude.
On a podcast. Now we're about to have fucking content for days, and it's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, I really feel like that our energy in some way, shape, or form found a way to align. I came across, and now we're here, and I'm hoping that this could build into something solid, and I could make my way out towards you.
Yeah.
I'll be traveling a lot this summer, and where exactly are you at again? You're in
a suburb in Chicago.
Okay, yeah, so we'll be in Chicago for a soccer showcase. I'll get you the dates.
Nice.
But yeah, man, I'm all like, you need to spend your time around the right people and have those.
Sure.
Like realistically, if it weren't for one of my other buddies who we started up a gym with, and we grinded out on this speed stuff for like 2 years straight, me and him, like training together, training ourselves, training athletes, like 10, 12 hours a day. Like I would live, breathe, eat the shit, and then like having the right influencers, the right mentors around me that taught me, I listened to so many podcasts of Dan Paff, Jonas Dodu, Les Spellman. Like I try to keep my circle of like what what you feed your brain is what you turn into. So it's like, I practice it myself. I practice it with athletes, and then I drilled it into my subconscious mind when I wasn't practicing it, and eventually it just became a habit. And now it's like, I think the coaching eye is a big piece of it. There's so many different factors that go into like being a good coach, and going back to speed, like into helping an athlete get faster. Cause it's like, you could have an athlete who has all the you can have an athlete that has all the physical attributes in the world and is just already naturally fast, but technically ugly as hell. And it's like, well, how much of that guy do I really want to change? You know, do I want to,
That's a fundamental question that you need to be asking, right?
Yeah.